I think that we are live now. At least it is written on my screen that we are live. Good evening, Yaaana.
Hi, good evening, Gal. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for cleaning your schedule and for being with us. But before we starting to talk and before I introduce you, I want to check in our group in Amazon Nonstop, of course, if everything is working properly and people can see and hear us. So it will take a second. Meanwhile, all the people who a bit late will join us. And then we will start to talk and to understand what is interesting subject is waiting for us. Yeah, I can see that we are broadcasting in our Amazon Nonstop group. Nira V is writing hello, good evening to everybody. Dear viewers,
hi, good evening.
Good evening. You're more than invited to write to us that how do you feel tonight? Here is Galron, good evening. Nira V is writing in Hebrew that everything is great. So, look, in the last minute, who is joining to us? Okay, I will add you to stream. Actually, it is a surprise because I was expecting Gilad in 25 minutes.
Hey, Gilad.
Hey, Gilad. How are you, Yaaana?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay, so it was a good idea to wait to a few more minutes because we could start before you will join us. So
happy I could make it.
Yeah. How are you, Gilad?
Good. Yaaana, you're back from Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
now
still have some tan, a little bit of tan left, but
and now you're broadcasting from Belgrade.
Yeah, from Belgrade, Serbia.
Yeah, we just talked and I told you that I have great experience and great memories from Belgrade, the hospitality of the people, the food and the prices. It was amazing. But the reason that we meeting today and broadcasting today, first of all, the reason is Gilad. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Gilad, for making this happen.
Thank you, Gilad. Even you late, but thank you for that. But the reason that we have very interesting subject that you want to share with us tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about what we're going to talk tonight? Yaaana?
Oh, hello. Okay, I lost for a second.
No, it's okay. So I just ask you to tell a little bit about yourself, about your business, and what is the main subject that we're going to talk tonight, and about what going to be the presentation.
Right. So I am the owner of YLT Translations, and we are helping Amazon sellers scale internationally. So we help them expand to international marketplaces with anything that involves content that needs to be translated, keyword research, copywriting, basically everything you need to get started after you've launched your products and after you're registered for VAT. And we do that for all international marketplaces, for whole Europe. We do that for Japan, Mexico, Brazil, and UAE. So we just don't do India. We didn't want to get involved in that. But apart from that, we are basically ready to help you get started everywhere else. And we do around 3,000 listings every month. We've grown a really big team. And we've had a lot of sellers become 6 to 7, 7 to 8. We have tons of 9-figure sellers now as well. And last 6 months have been really good for the business. Basically since April, May, ever since COVID started, we've seen an increase of 40% more inquiries than what we usually do. And I would say that international selling is a very trending topic. And I think the trend is going to definitely continue in 2021, as I haven't seen numbers go down. So yeah, I'm very excited to share some more things about this topic today. I think a lot of things that I'm going to talk about, people just oversee and don't think about their business. But this is what costs them, a lot to have a completely wrong start anywhere where you want to sell.
Okay, great. Very interesting. Do you and Gilad have a history of working together on some projects? Gilad, can you tell
but
me?
we've been together at a couple of conferences, so that's where I met Gilad.
Gilad, I think that you're on mute.
I was just testing you.
Okay. So, so I thought.
Yes. Yeah. No, well, I met Yaaner, I think last time it was a year ago in Prague, and since then we're working in cooperation. But we'll have another meeting. I think we had a meeting about a few months ago. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. We start to have more and more clients asking for VAs from non-English speaking countries, and this is why it was interesting for us. So Yaaner could help these sellers with the translation in order to make the life of their VAs easier.
Great. So guys, I think that it's about time to start with the presentation and dive in and to learn and to understand what is the meaning of what is the business that Yaaner managing, and how can it help us to manage more businesses in different countries, and to understand that translating it's not only translating words, it's also a culture. So let's see. And
it's more than translation, definitely. And today I'm just gonna tell you that I do this all the time. I've just spoken at like $1 billion summit of Kevin King. I'm speaking at Prosper, so on. But even I always try to do to give out really good content, no matter where I talk, and because I believe that once you educate people for something that they didn't know, this is what they're gonna value. So I never do a sales pitch or anything. So this is just going to be pure content. And if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of the questions and stay as long as you guys want me to stay today.
Okay.
Okay.
We're ready to start. And again, thank you, Yaaner, for cleaning your schedule for us and for being here and for the presentation.
Of course. Can everybody see my screen? Because I cannot see you guys. I can just see my screen now.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. So the topic today is how to be successful in international marketplaces. And this is something that, we've gathered from the last 2.5 years. This is how long we've been in business. Last year we partnered up with Thrasio, we partnered up with tons of really big brands, and we have a lot of really interesting case studies. And as I said, 40% more inquiries starting mid last year, and that's something which is going to be probably even more in 2021 if just taking as a sample of the first 3 months of Q1, definitely. So first of all, I just want to talk about a little bit of the translators who are doing your listings if you want to go to international marketplaces. And the mistake number one is that people are using translators that really don't have any Amazon experience or no marketing experience at all. So it's okay to take someone from Fiverr or some other, a Jungle Scout market or something like that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that these people who are doing your translations, that they understand why are they doing something the way they should be doing. So first of all, when you hire a translator, you have to have someone who's had a marketing or copywriting background or experience. Because if you hire someone who has had a legal experience, translating legal documents or medical records, they don't know how to make a good sales copy. They don't know how to make text or content that will make your product, that will make people click on the product and for people to buy, to buy it. First of all, the problem is because they don't use any keywords. If you don't have any keywords in your listing, no matter how beautifully this listing is written, it's not going to pop up when somebody searches for the search term. So if you have a translator that doesn't do keyword research and doesn't use any Amazon-related tools, such as, for instance, Helium 10, he's probably not going to do a good job, and you're not going to see that many conversions of your listing. So for instance, we have these leather cashmere gloves. So the regular German translation is something like this. But then when you compare it to the Amazon translation with the keywords are marked in red, you'll see that it looks quite different than the original text. And this is mandatory when doing the Amazon listings the right way, because you have to accommodate the text. You have to work your way around the keywords, and you have to change the regular sentence that you have in English, such as down-home touchscreen leather cashmere lined gloves for men. This is not something that you're gonna get in your title. You're gonna get couple of keywords, it's gonna have the same meaning. Of course, you're gonna say like gloves for men and leather cashmere gloves for men, but it's not gonna sound like a regular sentence. And the title should not sound like a regular sentence. It should sound something like, you know, a couple of like syntax put together with your best keywords. So your best keywords have to go into your title. And also a really cool thing is that whenever you have a title, and if you can see like the first little dash in the title, this is really cool because this is where your strongest keyword should be. Because when you make a canonic URLs, this is the part of the title that's going to go up into your URL. And this is also going to be indexed like on Google. So watch out for what you put before the first dash, because that's going to go to your canonic URL. And this is where you want to have the strongest keyword. And basically using dashes in title, it's just the right way to go. And I would not use any other commas or anything else what other people use. As you can see, like the first bullet is also a place where you put like the strongest keywords. And it also has to be adjusted a little bit. So you can fit like a leather Handschuhe Herren, which means like a leather gloves men. So you have to maybe, you know, change the sentence, adjust it a little bit. So it's more than just regular translations. So this translator has to use the keywords and then to kind of try to make sentence sound like absolutely natural, not stopping the natural flow of the sentence, even though you're using the keywords. So the point is like not to overstuff your title and bullets, but to use the keywords in that extent that it sounds natural to your language. That's basically it. So the title and bullets is something that basically is very, very important to you. And also when compared with Spanish language, for instance, it's completely different than German, because German language is, it has like special, like long, compound, chunky keywords. And for instance, that I'm going to talk about keywords a little bit later, but like Spanish language does not have that. And if you compare like the title and the bullets, like with the German and the French one, and the Spanish one, you'll see that there are a lot of difference because there are different keywords. You have to do the keyword research for each marketplace separately, and the language like structure is not the same. So that's something you really have to pay attention to. So that's mistake number one, absolutely using translators that have no idea why they're doing it, what they're doing, and what they're doing for. Of course, you're probably going to save some money because they're going to cost like 5 cents a word, but this is going to cost you a lot if you just have like a really bad start at the beginning. So number two, as I mentioned, are the keywords. Some of the tools which you know, turn out to be very good ones is, of course, number one is Helium 10. But if you don't want to pay for it, there's a really good tool called Sonar, and it's a free tool, and it has keywords which are available on all marketplaces. And recently, Helium 10 has also added the Dutch marketplace. Sweden and Poland are not available yet, but everything apart from that is totally available. So Helium 10 looks like this. You probably know this. And Sonar gives you also like a search volume. It doesn't get you all of the other little details like Helium 10 does, but Sonar gives you like search volume. And I think that's pretty much okay if you just want to get started and like do a simple keyword research for a product. The third tool that I really... Sorry?
No, I just said that I was using Sonar tool for years. Okay, never mind. We have some delay.
I'm sorry?
No, I just said that I was using Sonar tool for many years before I...
Oh, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Sonar tool is something that is for free, absolutely for free. So you can use it if you don't want to, you know, if you just want to do like a basic keyword research for a marketplace and you don't want to start subscription for Helium 10. And the tool that I really like the most is AMZ Suggestion Expander. It's a really cool tool. And what is really cool about it is that, for instance, if you don't have a lot of competitors on the marketplace, the Helium 10 and the other tool are not going to get that many information because they extract information from your competitors. And what to do, like if you don't have a lot of competitors, then you're not gonna get like a lot of really cool keywords. So what this little tool, and it's absolutely for free, it's an add-on for Chrome. It's called AMZ Suggestion Expander. What it does is that you can like type the main word, like this bonsai tree kit, And then if you type bonsai, you're going to get a keyword combination that can come before and after this main word. So it's a really good, you can get a lot of really cool keyword ideas, and you can use them in the listing. You don't have a search volume or anything, but according from our experience, like these are some like really well combined keywords. And this is something that you can really use in addition to other tools that you use, like let's say like Helium 10 plus like the Amazon suggestion expander. You can get some really interesting combination of keywords. So the problem with the languages, especially German, is really interesting because the German language has like these like big chunky compound words, and all of the other languages except Dutch, they don't have that. So what's the problem with the German when looking for keyword research in, let's say, Helium 10 or any other tool, because this is how they are put by default. So the problem when doing this in Helium 10 is when you're having the word count here as number 2, which means that you're going to automatically get like a long tail keyword, which consists of 2 words. So this pencil set is a makeup brush set. So in the results, you're going to get all of these, and these are just 2 words, and they form a syntagm that's a long tail keyword. So, and then you'll think like, okay, like I've covered everything, you download it, you do whatever you do to get a proper keyword database, and you would think that you've done enough research and you're gonna you're gonna rank for all the keywords that your competitors are ranked for. But the problem is that because of the German structure, they have this big chunky keyword words. Basically, they're not gonna pop up because you didn't put word count as number 1. And this being very common for German language, compound words will not show up in the results, and they usually are very highly ranked keywords. For instance, like this Schminkpinsel is like 7,000, and if you compare it here to the previous one, like you would not have it here, so it would not be in your top 10 keywords, and your competitors might be ranking for this, and you would not even know this exists. So what you need to do is like do the keyword research as like the word count number 2 downloaded, and then put number 1 and download it as well, and then combine the 2 results, and you'll get proper keywords. When talking about French keywords, we all know that like French words have like the accents on top of the words, and but in the search results you don't get any of these accents because people are just lazy. They don't look for the products this way, but putting like this étui protection without the accents in your listing is grammatically incorrect. So it's a very good keyword. It's like highly positioned, and you don't want to put it in the backend just because it's grammatically incorrect. So how can you save the keyword and use it in your front end listing? Well, French words can be written without the accent on top of the letters in caps lock. So in the US marketplace, you would not be able to put caps lock in your bullets because they will take down your listing. But in Europe, you can still easily use the caps lock in bullets and not get your listings taken down. So for instance, like in bullets, like you can start with caps lock, and this is where you can use the keywords exactly the same form you get in the result without the accents, and they will not be grammatically incorrect. So there's a little hack for using exactly like the same French keywords, which are highly relevant in your bullets, or you can also use it in product description. Before we started the recording, I was just discussing that a lot of rules that are applied in the US marketplace do not fly in Europe. So it's like a little bit behind US. So whatever's happening over there, it's not going to be necessarily active in Europe. So if you want to do Europe, just do it now because you still have some chances for you to make your life easier until it gets to the US level with the restrictions and everything else. The importance of localization is super, super important. So to localize something means that you're going to try to convey the same message that you have in your home marketplace to foreigners, to a different audience, and so they will understand it the way they're supposed to. So I have a really cool story about Walmart in Japan. So Japan is also like a really cool marketplace for Amazon, and I mean, you just really have to have a good product for Japan. So if you know you have a good product, you should definitely go there, because there is basically so little competition over there, and PPC clicks are crazy cheap. In order to maybe, you know, if you want to do a market research for a product, like I just suggest that you go to expat groups with Japanese people, and there are tons of them on Facebook, and you can just ask people like, would they buy your product and what they think about your product. So there's like a way where you don't have to, you know, spend money, and you can actually, you know, get some value in return. And I've done that personally myself also, and a lot of times I've got like some really, really good answers. So basically what happened with Walmart is that Walmart, as being a US giant, they wanted to spread also to Japan, to Asia. So they just opened tons of stores in Walmart without actually doing any proper market research. They just thought because they're big in the US, and they're gonna be just, people just gonna be crazy about them in Japan as well. And this is where they got wrong, because the thing is that Walmart is just, there are discounts everywhere. Nothing is locally sourced produced food. There are no organic things. This is what Japanese Japanese people, they like that. They like to go like on a scavenger hunt for discounts. They love locally produced food. They don't want anything that's like from Walmart. You know, they don't want these like Walmart products. And people hated it. And Walmart had to close their stores because they were just not a good fit for the Japanese marketplace. And they didn't do anything to adjust to it and to kind of make it more appealing to the home audience. But on the other hand, Costco, which is also like a, yeah? I'm sorry, did you say something?
No. Continue.
Ah, okay. But on the other hand, Costco, which is also like a big US giant, they made it so big in Japan that they're like still expanding. So how did Costco, which is like a synonym for like, you know, American shopping large, shopping big, and buying in bulk, made it in Japan and Walmart didn't? Well, Costco offered something that Japanese people haven't experienced before. And Japanese people, they love the shopping experience. So this was a completely new concept for them. They would go there and they would buy like 10 bottles of champagne, or, you know, like they were just kind of buying in bulk, like tons of products they would not usually buy. And they were like really, really, you know, surprised, and they loved it. So Costco was some like a giant that made it in Japan, and Walmart never made it. And these are the reasons why it happened. So when you think of like having a product or, you know, packaging or something that like works on one marketplace, think again if this is going to work, you know, well enough on different marketplace. And for instance, like for the German marketplace, you really have to have your packaging translated in German, because people don't speak English so much in Germany. And especially if you're selling supplements or any products that have like beauty products, like with different ingredients, people really want to understand what they're reading and what they're buying. So you really want to adjust that to target audience, and just, you have to speak their language, definitely. Also, the problem with Starbucks in Australia is that there's no Starbucks in Australia out of similar reasons. They just opened like tons of like Starbucks coffee shops, not even knowing that, you know, Australians' coffee culture is closer to Italian coffee culture than like the American coffee culture. And Starbucks just opened like, you know, their stores everywhere. Also, they were too accessible for everyone. And they just kind of kept that American type of, you know, coffee culture, which people didn't like over there. They had to close every single store. Until this day, there is no Starbucks in Australia, which is so weird. When it comes to like your products and like localization in practice, this basically means that you can easily either offend people, or they will not understand what your brand is about or your product is about if you just kind of keep the translations as they are. So you really have to understand how and what style and what approach you need for certain people. Like, I like to compare the US and German marketplace, because US, the marketplace is very salesy. They like to pitch you, they like to push you into buying the product. And German marketplace, they hate it. They just like kind of think it's not necessary, and they don't like to be pushed into buying a product. We were doing some translation for Payoneer, one of our clients, they're payment service providers, and they were exhibiting at this big conference in Germany. So the original text they gave us was passion, we go beyond care. And we had to change it to we go beyond customer service, because the word care is kind of too emotional for the German market. Care is like something that you connect with a hospital or physical care, and it doesn't sound that professional. Also, the second sentence is even worse. Humility, we go beyond assumptions. We change that to respect. We live up to what we promise our customers, because this sentence just doesn't make sense to a German-speaking person. Humble service, and like this is not something they would trust or buy or even think that they are doing the things right. So you really have to change that if you have, for instance, that describing your product. This is a really good example. This is a glass espresso cup. So the US listing, the first bullet says cool, cooler, coolest. And the German first bullet says elegant and stylish. So what Germans want to see is, like, how does your product look? What are the benefits? How will this help me solve my problems? Be very straightforward. Don't go with like metaphors and like, I don't know, like playing with words, except you're, selling a kid's toy or something else, but not with espresso cup. Like they don't like it. Also, like the fourth bullet says, own the enigma, just like that old ship in a bottle your granny had, blah, blah, blah. And Germans say thermal isolated glass. That's it, because that describes the product, and I will understand that I'm not going to burn my fingers. I don't need the grandma story for me to understand the product. So basically in bullets, it should be like the more concise, most concise as possible, very straightforward and very clear about what your product presents. Also, Germans don't like words like get it now, adorable, super cute, blah, blah, pamper yourself in luxury. It's all too much for the German marketplace. So what happened in 2020, actually, that's going to affect the 2021 and international sales is that, as I already said, 30% people, there's 40% increase in demand for international marketplaces. People diversified now more than ever, but instead of going to Shopify and to other sales channels, people decided to go international more and more because they understand, they know the system, the module. If you go to Walmart, if you go to Etsy, anywhere else, it's completely different. So if you have the capital, you should just use the system and just go international marketplace instead of going elsewhere. Of course, it's easy to make a Shopify website, but then to make actually some good sales, you need like 100K, even more, to make some like really good deal out of your Shopify website. So basically everybody went online in 2020 and the whole e-commerce grew immensely. US marketplace has been very, very strict, and they were taking down listings for all sorts of reasons. And this also like made people go elsewhere. Amazon Netherlands has enrolled PPC, and they have now become the biggest and most impactful marketplace in the Netherlands. And they were not that before December. Before December, it was this marketplace called bol.nl, which was the dominant marketplace. And a lot of people didn't think that Amazon is going to make it. But ever since they rolled out PPC, things absolutely changed. And Amazon Sweden was introduced in a very unfortunate way, because they just put up the Amazon Sweden website with completely wrong automated translations, and that was horrible. But I think overall now they're just doing a good job. And what's very interesting is that last year we usually would get, like, when it comes to Europe, people always want to expand like to Germany and France. But last year, people also wanted to expand to Spain and Italy exceptionally. And also, like, one of the reasons is because those marketplaces grew by 14%. And when you compare like to Germany, only 7%, it means that people in Spain and Italy just kind of changed their shopping habits and changed their way of life. And that also resulted in an increase of demand of people who want to sell in these marketplaces as well. So 2021, for all of you who have a website, who have their own website, Google is making huge changes in May, and you have to make the site responsive. In case you don't make your site responsive, you're not going to be able to be indexed or even found on Google. So that's something which is hugely important. Second of all, creating digital experiences to make lives easier for customers. Customers are getting more and more spoiled, so you really want to step up your game and like what you're offering them and the way you're offering them. Environmentally friendly is always trending, but like last year there was like 60% people would highly likely buy a product that from a company that has a good reputation for environmental responsibilities than others. And people are just, scaling the omni-channel strategy, like doing other channels, like diversifying, going internationally and so. And, the biggest e-commerce plans for 2021, also, like I read this in an article, interviewed about like 50 leading brands, is definitely improving their own website, fulfillment capabilities, social spend, listing on more marketplaces, selling to new regions, and video ads. So don't put all eggs in one basket. And what I would like to add here also is TikTok. So TikTok has been increasing more and more. And we're also like working with TikTok, and what we've seen is like that 70% of the audience over there is like focused on that app only because it has like full screen zoom and music. So it's absolutely full focus, and they are rolling out some really interesting new type of ads, which are going to be focused on sales. And not just for you to make a video so you're making branding. No, they're making ads so you can actually sell your product. And what's interesting, I'm going to tell you this information, you cannot find it online. 63% of TikTok are women worldwide, and 12% of interest are beauty products, 17% interest are headphones. So if you're in either of these two categories, you should definitely think of TikTok as your sales channel, because I think TikTok is definitely going to be the next big thing. So basically, when talking about 2021, I think we're all experiencing again the lockdowns and all the horror from last year. So basically, the categories that should be interesting for sales should be like toys and games, DIY, home and decor, and all the quarantine-friendly categories that were very popular like mid last year. When talking about marketplaces, I already mentioned Germany, and I like to call it a 5-star marketplace because all of the other countries that don't have their own Amazon marketplaces, they get redirected and they buy from Germany, and that's why Germany is bigger than the UK. UK, unfortunately, after Brexit, stands alone on this like little right part of the map. But they're like excluded from all of the trade or other agreements. So basically all UK sellers are just left to sell only in the UK. And that's why a lot of them are also expanding to Europe, because now in order to sell to Europe, you have to ship your inventory in one of the European countries, and then you're eligible in selling over there. And we get tons of UK sellers saying, well, hey, I didn't plan it, but I have to go to sell it like on international marketplaces because I don't want to be stuck in the UK. France and Spain have risen immensely, and then and Italy as well. The Netherlands has been like really, really rocking as the leading marketplace over there, and Sweden has been very, very interesting for a lot of people. The newest marketplace, of course, we have Japan, UAE, Singapore, India, Australia, which are like the bigger worldwide marketplaces, and I expect South America to be very interesting for sellers, especially Colombia. I think they're going to open the Colombian marketplace pretty soon. So when it comes to Poland, and that's the newest marketplace, it's really crazy how many requests we got. We got more requests for Poland than Sweden, and it's a really, really big country, and they have like this e-commerce culture. And 12,000 online stores in Poland is a big number, and Allegro.pl is their marketplace. And it just comes after Shopee and Tmall, which means that it's in the top of 10 worldwide marketplaces. And a lot of other marketplaces or stores have expanded to Poland also, like last year, like Zalando expanded to Poland and Sweden. So, and other retailers. So basically Amazon is kind of quite behind a lot of them. When talking about something outside of Europe, which is interesting, that's Amazon UAE. And it's, people have money over there, there's a high living standard, and they love a good bargain. And what's a really good category to sell in is home and decor, because of expats. So people there, they come and go, and they change their apartments all the time. they're empty apartments they want to fill out with the furnishings, but it's very expensive in Dubai. And if you compare the category of home decor, it has maybe just a couple thousand products. When you compare it to the US, they have like over 30,000 products. So if you're somewhere anywhere in that category, like UAE should be very good for you. And you don't even have to translate the listings, because if you want to target expats, they're going to search for that in English. And the same goes for Singapore. Also, like expats and like very tiny apartments are something that make the category of home decor very good for sales. And you can just use English. I would suggest using British English, not American, and American keywords. And this is a very small marketplace, but it's very important for Amazon, because this is a gateway to Southeast Asia. And this is why it's very important for Amazon to have a strong marketplace over there. Saudi Arabia, we haven't had a single inquiry for Saudi Arabia, but this is 3 times bigger than UAE. And people also, like, they have a lot of money to spend over there. So really curious to see how it goes with this marketplace in 2021. And coming back to Sweden, 3rd largest country in Europe, which has a really special e-commerce culture, talking about IKEA, H&M, and people are just really used to buying things online. And it's like really interesting to see how this goes. And they also have stock, unlike the Netherlands. This is they don't have long distance selling threshold. They have actually stock warehouse near Stockholm. It's called the city is called Eskilstuna, and this is where they send all the products, which are really it's a really good delivery time. And Amazon has been very proud of their quick delivery times in Sweden. So I think that Amazon Sweden is even gonna be better in 2021. So yes, I was saying about the Amazon and the Netherlands, that they were basically conquering the marketplace ever since they rolled out their PPC. So it should be good. I mean, we had, when you're comparing to all these new marketplaces, I would say that the Dutch marketplace and the Polish one, which is the newest one, are equal in the inquiries people are making. And then Sweden comes a little bit below them. So what's next? Czech Republic is told to be should be published anywhere, I don't know, like maybe this year, maybe next year, depending on how much they push things due to COVID and other things. But Czech Republic has had like the biggest growth in e-commerce last year. And also, if probably you know this, but like when you register for Pan-European program, even when like only 4 marketplaces were available, you had to register VAT for Poland and Czech Republic. So this is most likely going to be unrolled anytime soon. From our case studies, this is like one of our clients that just kind of started with like, very basic figures, and then they've grown and now they're close to 8 figures. This is like from 2019. So now they're rolling out 15 more products, and they're like selling on all European marketplaces. And they're making, just amazing results. And we've had like tons of clients like this, just not believing that they could make bigger revenue that they were making on their whole marketplaces, all thanks to 2020 and the start of 2021. This is the second client, and basically that's it. So thank you so much for listening. If you guys have any additional questions, or if you maybe have some listings that are underperforming, you're wondering why is that happening, we offer free listing audits, so we can definitely go through your listing, tell you what's right, what's wrong, what could be improved, and so on. And apart from product listings, this is the list of all services that we're offering. Basically, we cover absolutely everything. We even do some design work for you if you need like text and images and stuff like that. So you can connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram, like our YLT Translations page. And thank you so much for tuning in today.
Okay, first of all, it was a great presentation. Thank you very much, Yaaana. Do you have any questions? Because I see that we don't have more questions from the audience. And
I have a question.
I believe a little bit before we ending. So, dear viewers, you're more than wanted to ask us questions, and I will forward the questions to Yaaana. And Gindad, I heard that you have one.
Yeah, well, first of all, I would like to know some statistics. I mean, a lot of sellers, when they start selling on on a new platform and a new country, they use like Google Translate, for example, that should be using also like the culture. I mean, it's all inside Google to already understand the culture of the country and all that. So obviously, when you have somebody writing in your own, I mean, somebody from there that's working for you, for example, that has the knowledge of the culture and all that. I mean, statistically, do you see what's the increase in sales on that? I saw the statistic that you mentioned over there, but do you really see a big difference when between the regular machine translation to having somebody specifically doing it for you? And if so, in which countries do you see it the most?
Well, of course, there is a difference because Google Translate is a machine. Machine doesn't know how to do keywords. So Google and indexing with Google Translate doesn't make any sense because Google Translate is just like a machine for itself. It doesn't connect with Google. It doesn't suggest you any keywords. And also, like, Google keywords are different than Amazon ones in a lot of cases. But anyways, Google Translate doesn't give you keywords. It just gives you like a translation. Like it can help you understand how to fix your washing machine. But if you want like have like storytelling and like branding, it doesn't do a good job because it can be very, very wrong. Also, what happens is that a lot of people from Launchpad, they just they send us a list and be like, oh, this is not working so well. I haven't had a lot of sales. I think it's because of the listing copy, because it was Launchpad. And Launchpad does automated translation. It's basically Google Translate. Or the second service they have is like they have humans proofread the machine translation, which is also horrible because you also don't do any keywords. And correcting machine translation, it's like so very painful. And I'm a translator myself, and there's like not money in the world that I would do that because it takes double the time. I would rather like translate something from like ground zero than like to correct some horrible machine translation. And a lot of times sentences are incomprehensible, and it's really, really bad. And I'm not just saying because like I have a service, it's just because like you read like tons of like listings, like, especially like the Chinese listings, and like, do you really want to have like the Chinglish listing in your listing like in Germany? And I mean, it's just wrong. Like, unfortunately, like machine translation, it's gonna take like, I don't know, like 50 more years at least to get like better and to get like the ability to learn and understand. And as I said, like if it's like a beautifully translated listing, if you don't have keywords, nobody's gonna find your product, and you're gonna ruin the honeymoon period, and you'll have to start all over, deleting the images and whatever. And I know how to restart the honeymoon period. But why would you have to do that, right? If you can start right. What was the second question?
The second question was after I already started. Let's say I already started selling in Germany and or any other country, and then the first thing after creating the listings is actually to do customer service. So how can I manage there? I mean, can I use Google Translate there, or it's gonna go even worse? What's the reaction of customers when they see a bad translation in customer service?
You know what? Like, if you have a customer service, it's not necessarily a difficult question. So if your question is like, where is my order? And you're like, your order will be sent, blah, blah, blah. This is like simple sentences can be done with Google Translate. So if you have like really simple questions, you can use Google Translate to answer that. Like, for instance, I don't know, like check your email if you haven't got a confirmation or something. If they're if they're complaining about some just really small stuff and like some simple questions, then Google Translate should be fine. But honestly, like, what do you think? Like, Gilad, you're buying a product and somebody answers in like some horrible like Hebrew or another language, like, so would you be upset? Would you be just like, what is this? Like, what do you think of their product?
Yeah, I tell you what I used to do when I sold in different languages. I used to add in the beginning like a sentence. I'm sorry, I'm not from your country. I'm using Google Translate, so please forgive me for any grammar mistakes I'm making.
Well, that's absolutely fine, because I would never mind if somebody put like honesty into it and be like, I'm sorry, I'm using the Google Translate and I hope that you will not be upset. I'll be just like, okay, fine. I'm not gonna give you like a freaking 1 star. I'll be just like, these guys are trying and maybe they cannot afford like native, customer support. But I haven't seen anybody do that. honestly. If I've seen that, I'll be just like, okay, of course. I mean, this guy's being honest. But I would be just, I don't know, I'm kind of upset when I see something like, when I see like a bad translation or a bad listing, I'm like, I don't want to buy this product because maybe they're not that, it's the quality is like their listing, right? I mean, you're selling your brand and you're selling your product. So how are you going to convince someone that you actually have a top-notch product if you cannot like make a proper sentence about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check if we have any more questions from the Facebook chat, and I don't see anything more. I believe that everything was very clear for our viewers, so I think that we came to the end. Yaana, what is the best way to contact you? Like, you prefer Facebook or with your website, phone?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions or you need any advice, I'm really open to, answering all sorts of questions. I'm really involved in like all sorts of Amazon activities. So you can add me on Facebook. You have my name and my last name, or you can like YLT Translations page. You can also reach out to me at jana@ylt-translations.com.
Okay, great. So people can ask you professional questions, like to get your advice, not like you as a service.
Yeah, no. I mean, like if you have questions like about like PPCs or like honeymoon period or how to restart your honeymoon period, because this is like a problem that a lot of people struggle with. I know like some really cool tips and hacks that can help you. And if you have any questions that I can help out with, as I said, like I know tons of stuff when it comes to international marketplaces. So I'm pretty sure that I can help you solve some of the issues, hopefully, that you have.
Okay, great. So thank you for that. I believe that you will stay in our group in Amazon Nonstop. And
yeah, of course.
Again, Fred, thank you for being with us today. Gilad, thank you for the intro. It was great. It was kind of a lesson for me. And I believe that we will see you in the future in Israel as you plan to come.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Now the sky is open, and here in Israel, at least, we're getting back to life. So I believe it's gonna
nice.
In the rest of the world. And thank you again, Yaana. Have a great night or evening, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.